Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video. Y'all, Love is Blind season 6 episode 7. The word of the day is flowers, okay? It is mandatory that any man that gets with Monica, please, I beg you, please buy her some daggone flowers. Because the way she is harassing, and yes, I said harassing this man about some flowers, it is driving me crazy. Let me tell you something. If he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this review. But before we do, I need you guys to do me a favor. If this is your first time here, sit back, relax, watch the video through. And if you like what you see, you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Baby, we are on the way to 10K and I need y'all help to get there, okay? If you are one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm doing good. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I definitely watched episode 8, not 9 yet, but I definitely watched episode 8. And baby, I'm ready to get through 7 so I can get to 8, okay? But since we are here to talk about 7, that's exactly what we're going to do. So, of course, y'all know they still in Mexico and they are doing some activities today. Marissa and Rams, they go on like this yacht, okay? And you know she can't stop talking about the military because that's part of her identity, which we are going to find out later on in this episode is a problem. A problem that he already knew about, though. That's the part. That's the part. The mountains, the scenery, all of that, I absolutely loved it. It was just beautiful to take in. Tim and Alex are like now in this weird space, okay? She says they're supposed to go ATV riding, but she's not really sure where they are right now. Like, it's an awkward situation to be in. Like, y'all just got into it. He's decided that, you know, he's going to stick around for a little bit. But now y'all got this weird energy where it's like, I don't want to push too hard, but I definitely need to push a little bit, okay? He said that he's going to stick this out. He's willing to work this out because she's willing to see it his way. Now, Tim, I see it your way too. She should have never put her hand over your mouth. That was way too much for me, okay? But you do need to see things her way as well. Because, like, it takes two to communicate, it takes two to compromise, and it takes two to make a relationship work. So did you take the time to try to understand where she was coming from as well? That's just the question that I have. So they go ATV riding and they ride over this little bridge, okay? Now, baby, the way my nerves are set up, ain't no way, okay? She said she felt like this was a trusting experiment for them, okay? She now trusts him with her life because he got her over that bridge. Baby, he was going to get himself over that bridge no matter what, okay? But I'm glad that you felt that this was a bonding experience for y'all. When they were sitting out there talking, he reassured her that he still loves her. And she's like, so you're going to come back to the room? You're going to come back into the room? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to come back into the room. They're willing to make this work. And I really, really hate that argument has tainted the image of this relationship for me. Tyler and Ashley. Y'all, I told y'all. When he said that it's people going to have a lot of mean things to say about him, baby, he wasn't lying, because as soon as the episode aired, everybody had a lot of things to say about him. I told y'all that it was sounding too good to be true, and here we are, okay? And I refuse to believe that he told her the truth, because there's no way that he told her that he has 3 children, he's behind $30K in child support, and there's also no way he told her that he swindled women out of money that he owed. No way he did that. But nonetheless, she doesn't know any of these things. So right now she's living in bliss. And I hate that for her. Ignorance is bliss. Anyway, they go camel riding. And they're, you know, having a good time. He's like, can you see yourself marrying me? She's like, I'll marry you tomorrow. I will never find another man like you. Oh. Okay. So when they sit down, they start talking about the holidays. He want to know, what does the holidays look like? Because for him, you know, he cooked dinner and he just chilled out. He wasn't with his family or nothing. Even the family that he got pictures of him with the matching Christmas PJs on. He ain't got no family that he shared the food that he cooked with. Nothing like that. He was just chilling by himself. She said, yeah, I cooked and I chilled too. So at this point, they really want to talk about, expanding their family and building their traditions. He says he wants to get ornaments and hang them up, sentimental ones. I love me a good sentimental ornament, okay? I actually have some. But you want to know something? I barely use them. Because every year I decide to do something spectacular with my tree and they just don't fit the aesthetic. So yeah, they here. I might hang it on the wreath or something, but it's not going on my tree. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I just want to say that I really, really hope that all the things that people are saying about this man is not true. Because I really like him for who he portrays to be. But I already knew it. I said he was feeling calculated. I told y'all I feel like he has the gift of gab and that he was going to play this game no matter what. It just so happens that Ashley was very attractive. So this way he was able to, really play the role. Nick and Hannah go bungee jumping and they're acting like they actually love each other and like each other. So for now, they seem to be in a good space. Even though we know deep down inside, they secretly hate each other and they feel like they've been catfished. So now Monica and Steven. Okay, so Monica wants to bring up some concerns because Steven is not being the man he said he was going to be inside the pods, okay? Because in the pods, he said that he was going to get her some flowers, and we've been out the pods for an hour and a half, and where are my flowers? But his answer was very, very weird because he was like, I could get you something else. It doesn't necessarily have to be flowers. Excuse me, sir. If the woman said she liked flowers, if y'all talked about her liking flowers inside the pods, why can't you just get her what she wants? Why do you have to get her something else? The flowers at the Food Lion are $9.99. Get the girl some daggone flowers. Please stop with the, I can get you something else. She says that, her love language is gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation. You knew this. So let's not sit here and act crazy. And then this turned to a finance conversation about how him and his family doesn't really exchange gifts because they're not in a financial place to do it. He can't remember the last time he got a gift. If gifts are not a big thing for you, that's perfectly fine, Steven. But don't sit there and promise this girl who tells you that's her love language gifts if you're not going to be able to deliver. Because now we're having a conversation about some daggone flowers that you could just easily go and get her. So because he feels uncomfortable about not getting her the flowers, he decides to switch the conversation about how he's having doubts about this marriage because he doesn't want to feel forced. Sir, no one forced you to sign up for Love is Blind where the end goal is to get married. So she's like, so what, you're having second thoughts? And he's like, no, I'm just really nervous. And she's like, I'm just so confused because in the pods you was just like, I just really, really want to marry you. I'm ready to marry you. Now all of a sudden you're nervous. You're not sure. Like, I'm confused. And I'm sitting here like, Steven, what is your deal? Because you are acting like a totally different person outside the pods. You're always rambling, you're always switching the subject, and you're always talking about a bunch of BS that has nothing to do with anything. And a little bit of sense that you do make sounds like low-key love bombing. I'm just saying. So at the end of this conversation, I don't feel like we solved anything. All I heard was, I love you. I love you. That's what Steven does. He switches the conversation. And now we're no longer talking about how he didn't get her flowers, how he's not being the man that he was supposed to be. And now we're at I love you and conversation over. Ciao, bye. Ciao, bye. So all the couples go meet up for dinner and you hear Taylor ask Hannah, do you feel like you're teaching him a lot? And Hannah goes, yeah. And I'm sure he will be able to teach me something eventually. I'm like, girl. Hannah don't want that man. He don't want that man. And she feels like she's above him. She feels like she's out of his league. She feels like she's smarter. She's stronger. She's bigger. She's taller. She's everything more than him. Alex is trying to spill the tea about how Tim done packed his stuff up and he was actually getting ready to leave. And then out of nowhere, these fireworks start going off, okay? The fireworks. So everyone's excited about these fireworks. They go over to them. They're looking at them. They're holding hands. Some people are cuddled up. Some people are with their friends. Like, everybody's just doing their own thing. Really, it's taking in these daggone fireworks. But no, not Monica. Monica has to, overthink and dwell on the fact that, Steven was not watching these fireworks with her. She's very passive aggressive. she goes over to him like, oh, the fireworks were so romantic. The fireworks were so romantic. And he's like, I'm sorry. I was talking to Garrett. And I'm like, okay. He was talking to Kid Garrett. We get it. Leave it alone. It's not that big of a deal. So she goes to sit down and talks about how he's pissing her off. Everything he does is pissing her off. Okay. So then he comes over there like, I'm sorry. Are we fine? I'm sorry. Is everything okay? And she's like, no, we're fine. I love you. We're fine. Love you. And I'm like, why are you doing all of that? You're literally just sitting here talking about how this man is pissing you off. And then you turn around like, no, we're good. Love you. Love you. Like, stop with the passive aggressiveness. It's bothering me. Okay. Because we already know that she has this complex where she feels like she's better than him. And she takes every opportunity to show that, okay? Why are you sitting down talking about he's scared? He's scared. Steven's not scared of you. He has no reason to be scared of you. I don't even know why that came out your mouth. So now Steven comes over there because he still wants to grab her at her feet and apologize. So he's sitting down and he's explaining to her and Taylor how him and Garrett was having this whole conversation while the fireworks was going on. How Garrett was really needing to like let it out and he needed to be there for him, right? But then somehow the conversation switches to how when everyone sees the show and they see, you know, how everything plays out, the girls are going to be throwing their pussy at him and, you know, they're going to want to suck his dick. Excuse me, sir? Because how in the world did we get to people wanting to put their mouth on your peen because you were on the show? Is that an ulterior motive? Is that like what you plan on doing? Because we already know that you was in the pods talking about how you was a cheater and you really beat yourself up about it. Remember? And I'm sitting here trying to figure out how we lost the plot to what we were talking about. Monica got up and walked away, and I don't blame her. Poor Taylor had to sit there and listen to this man just talk about how women are going to be willing to suck his peen because he's on TV and how he has to have the strength to turn down the temptation of it all. Steven, get away from me with the bullshit. And so at this point, I can understand why Monica is annoyed with this man, okay? But I'm not going to act like she's not getting on my goddamn nerve as well. Because now they're in the room and he's packing his shirt and she just has the icks about him packing his clothes because he buttons up the buttons and then he folds them and put them in a suitcase. But if he would have kept his stuff neat to begin with, we wouldn't even be here because she'd rather him be in the bed with her. Girl, you don't even want that man to fold his shirts and pack his stuff. You don't like him. He gives you instant icks. We know that. We figured that out a long time ago. You're tolerating this man. And I hate that she's so passive aggressive about her nastiness that she's just like, well, if you would have kept it cleaner, then you wouldn't even have to do that. But I just really want you to come get in the bed with me. Ugh. So now it's time for them to go home, okay? They are about to move into these apartments together. They are getting their devices back. We are hitting the real world. And that's when always hits the fan. Now, I will say that I do appreciate how, you know, Nick offered to help Hannah, you know, take care of the dog or whatever. She's like, don't worry about it. I get up early anyway. You know, I'll take my dog for a walk. But if some days you can help me out, I appreciate that. Then she turns around and say, I feel like I'm going to have to tell you to take out the trash. And he's like, what do you mean you feel like you will have to tell me to take out the trash? She was like, I mean, I don't really know. I just feel like that, you know, but we'll have to see. Then she goes on to say how she's more mature than him, even though she's younger. And I'm like, oh, this is nice, nasty. This is very nice, nasty. Because what she's doing is she's insulting him every chance that she gets, but she puts a cute little laugh behind it. So it's like, I'm also more intelligent and emotional intelligent than you. Like, no, girl, you're insulting this man. And he was like, you're not going to have to tell me how to do that. She's like, can you mount a TV? He's like, no, but I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to do laundry. I just don't know how to mount a TV. She's like, well, I can do it all. Well, girl, then go mount your own TV then. Then go ahead and do it. Like, I don't understand. What's the point? And what does him not knowing how to mount a TV have to do with you being more emotionally mature and intelligent than him? Please help me understand. And I just want to be very clear that even though Nick is like, eating it up, okay, he's acting like it's not bothering him. Oh, baby, he's definitely taking mental note. He's jotting all this down in his brain because Hannah really be doing a lot. Oh my God. Okay, they just got into the apartment, y'all. Steven and Monica just got into the apartment. They just got off the plane. They just got into the apartment, and they were talking about hosting for their friends. Okay, they like the apartment. Like, we're gonna host. We're gonna cook. And she's like, and get flowers. And he's like, yeah. And we're gonna decorate and get flowers. And we're gonna cook a good dinner and get flowers. You didn't get the hint yet? Steven, just say we're gonna get flowers. Just say we're gonna get flowers so she don't have to say and get flowers one more time. Cause that man wanna talk about everything but flowers. He done switched the conversation to how beautiful the view is and how you only see things like this on Instagram. Yeah, like when the girls get flowers on Instagram. Like, oh my goodness, she's exhausting. And this is my thing. If you know that you told him you like flowers, give him a chance. Y'all haven't even been out in the real world for more than a day. And you are already beating this man down about flowers. Y'all was on vacation in Mexico. You're mad he didn't get you no flowers. You just got off the plane and you got into your apartment. You're mad he didn't get you no flowers. The man hasn't even been outside to go to the store to get some water. And you still worried about these flowers. How do you know that wasn't a plan of his? But if someone keeps asking for something, you kind of don't want to do it because you don't want to make it seem like you're doing it because they asking for it. You want to do it because you want to do it. And by you keep bringing up the fact that he hasn't done it, I'm sure it's not, motivating him to go get you some. Taylor and Garrett are about to share social media. And I was like, woo, child, I get nervous around this part, okay? Because the way he was acting like he was bracing her for something, when all he was bracing her for was some fish. I was like, okay. Because the way he's like, I just want to let you know now. What you want to let her know, Garrett, okay? But nonetheless, it's just a bunch of fish. And he sees it, and she sees it. And he tells her that, she's the best catch. I said, oh, that's cute. They growing on me. Slowly. They're growing on me. Tim and Alex get into their apartment. And, she's just like, it's a queen size bed. You think it's big enough for both of us? And he's like, well, I have a king size bed at my house, And she's like, oh, but we can cuddle now. And he's like, I don't know about that. I sleep hot. I don't need nobody up under me. And she just looks like, how did I end up with a man who doesn't like to cuddle? I mean, did y'all talk about it? Ain't that what y'all supposed to been doing in the pod? Talking about everything you ain't asked him, do he like to cuddle or not? But they do like the fact that they both like to sleep cool, okay? Because don't nobody want to sleep hot. I'd rather be cold than hot any day. Because I could put the cover on, I could take the cover off, I could put the cover on, I could put my socks on. I could do all types of things. But baby, if it's hot, I'm going to be uncomfortable. Ashley and Tyler do their nightly prayer, and Tyler's prayer is so beautiful. Is this religious manipulation now? What is going on? Because I get it, Ashley. I get it. If you've been isolated and this is the man that's presented to you and he is this man that we're all getting, we were falling for it too, girl. I get it. I get it. That's all I got to say. So Rams and Marissa are in their new apartment and they're in the bed, talking. And, they start talking about the wedding planning. And I love that they're talking about the wedding planning because that means that they're really looking forward to it, okay? He says that he's concerned about all the black because, like, girl, what you want to do all this black for? She's like, I like black. It's slimming. It's this, that, and the other. She asks him, is he going to be involved? And he's like, absolutely, I want to be involved. I feel like if someone's not involved in the wedding planning, it kind of foreshadows how the relationship is going to be and how invested that person and how that person is going to show up in a relationship. I can definitely understand that because you don't want to feel like you got to make all the decisions yourself. Like, you want your person to be excited. Even if they don't really make a decision, you want them to be there for moral support. Even if they don't actually have to make the decision, you want them to seem excited with you about the decisions that need to be made. You know what I mean? But he lets her know, and with all that being said about how involved I want to be in this wedding, we not doing all black, sis. And she's like, what, you anti-black? I start cracking up. So Garrett brings Taylor to meet his family. And guess who got flowers, y'all? Guess who got flowers? His mom and dad. Poor Monica ain't never gonna get her flowers. But anyway, so his sister asked Taylor how she feels about, her family, not wanting to be on the show. And she's like, my family supports me, okay? They want to meet him. They just don't want them cameras in their house, okay? So we're trying to figure out how we can get them, here without all the unnecessary people in their house. And I was like, I felt that. Because don't nobody want a whole camera crew in their house. But I'm glad to know that her family does support the process. Because if they didn't, we'll be having a whole nother conversation. I will say the way Garrett brags about Taylor is beautiful. It's like, she went to this school. Her job title was this. She's very smart. We have matching tattoos. Like, everything he says about her is beautiful. He's bragging on his girl like, that's my girl. Okay, she's all that than a bag of chips. And I'm like, I love it. They really are growing on me. And I knew I needed to fill them out a little bit more. But yeah, I like them. I really do. So his mom is just making sure that they cover all the bases. She asked them about kids and stuff like that. And they both sat there and they said, look, we talked about a lot of things and we are aligned on everything. And his mother got really emotional. And you could tell that at that moment, she realized that this is real. My son may be getting married. Oh my God, this may be the girl for him. And I was just like, oh, it was a very touching moment. Very, very touching, because you could tell that his mother probably didn't think that he was really going to go in there and come out with a wife. But at this moment, it's looking like he got a wife. And they got so much in common. They got science tattoos. How random is that? But I'm not going to act like they wasn't concerned about making sure that they're sure. Because when his sister was like, just don't rush it, because you guys are at this point just trying to make sure you hit deadlines, because you're on a time limit. So it's like you have to do everything by a certain time. And they like, no, baby, this not that. This not that. This is love. If this is love, do 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 do. If this is love, do 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 do. So Rams is in the house and Marissa is sexting him, okay? Sending him some nice little cute little text messages, keep things spicy, because she's a freak-a-leak, okay? And she comes in and he's cooking and they talking about work and stuff like that. I said, doesn't this look like a cute little dynamic? You come home, your man in the house cooking, y'all sit down and eat. Too bad the noodles wasn't cooked properly. So they sit down and they're talking about the wedding again, okay? Love that for them. We're in a planning mode, okay? Because we're getting married. That's what we're doing. We're getting married. But he asked her, do you want a spiritual officiant or a religious one? And she's like, no, definitely spiritual. So how do you think your mom's going to feel about that? He's like, my mom's very religious. She might just want to pray to me and that might be enough. But, she probably will feel some type of way that God won't be mentioned in the service. When she said we're going to leave God in the back seat, to each his own. But I need God in mine. I need him in my marriage. I don't know what y'all talking about. Okay? But to each his own. So they start talking about the military. Now, this is where I'm like, you knew this girl was in the military. You knew this girl lived that life. You knew this was a big part of her life. And he's just like, he doesn't support the military. She's saying, I support the people in the military. And he's like, yeah, but these people signed up to go do what they're doing to these countries. She's like, but when you sign up, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. Especially when she signed up because she was young. She didn't know how intense everything was going to be. But baby, girl, you know that we have wars. And if you sign up for the military, you're going to go to war 9 times out of 10. And Marissa, I need you to know that he's judging you, sis. I know you said you don't want to, feel judged, but he's judging you. And I know he said that he's not judging you, but he's judging you. And I almost feel like you're ashamed to say that you're proud to be in the military. You may not have agreed with what everything happened, but at the end of the day, that is a huge part of your life. So you need to figure out, are you going to act like you're not proud to be part of the military and what you did out there for our country, or if you're going to minimize how you really feel at the stakes of making him feel comfortable so you can get married. And my thing is, y'all talked about this in the pods. Am I correct? Didn't y'all? So it's weird that Rims feels so strongly about military people and somehow ended up with a military girl. Very strange to me. Very strange. But anyway, y'all, that was episode 7. I am ready to record episode 8. But I enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this review. Once again, I say, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, because we're on the road to 10K, okay? Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what y'all think about the whole episode, okay? Do not talk about episode 8 and 9 because we're not there yet. It's coming. We just not there yet. Leave me some yellow hearts and let me know you stopped by, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.